Excuse me. All right. I'm going to laugh if it didn't work at all. Settings. Audio. All right. You can hear me now. And I was probably rambling for like 5 minutes and no one knew what I was talking about. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm going to wait till someone's... what's up? Ian's here. Let's go, Ian. Ian and Andres are here. All right, sweet. You guys can hear me. Let's go. I love it. I love it. So we can start over. Let's just start over. Like, why not? Last command. Yeah, you didn't hear me either. You're like, oh, the stream started. I didn't know the stream started. That's funny. Yeah, so we're working on the last session command. So what I want to do is I want to make a really easy command that says, hey, I want to go to the last session. Like, and you guys probably are already aware of the built-in binding that is capital L, and it lets you move to the previously selected, not window, we want capital. Switch to the attached client, back to the last session. So last session is only measured by what I physically switch to while I'm in tmux. So the example that I had was, I was talking about this and you guys couldn't hear me. Let's go to dot files. Let's go to wes-term config. Let's do tmux config. All right, so we got a few sessions open. So if I go back to wes-term config and go back to tmux config, basically if I close tmux config, there is no last session because we've killed tmux and like reattached to it with a feature flag. Like there's a flag you can configure in tmux that says, when I destroy my active client, switch to another one, like go to another client or another session. That's fine, but what happens is now wes-term config is my last session. I want to be able to hit Command L and just go to that session. I don't need to do anything clever like physically, manually go to a certain session and then allow that feature to continue to work. So it doesn't. The feature just stops working. So again, if I close wes-term config and hit Command L, it just doesn't work. So it's really easy because we already know when we last attached to something. It's been tracked by sesh. So that's how sesh knows how to sort these and show them. And so my idea now is, all right, go get the tmux sessions, grab the second one, give me that value and attach to it. And that's the feature I want to build today. And so then no matter how many sessions I close, I should be able to hit Command L and go to the one that was the most recent previous session. Always, like no need to recommunicate with tmux what's going on. So I think it'll be nice. Ian says gimme, so let's just ship it. I want to try to build it in a day, one session. My partner is going to come back at some point with food, so I'm going to try to time this so that I can just come off stream when the food shows up. So let's just see what happens. So we have our branch. There's a couple ways to do this. The first way is connect last, which I don't really love. I think I might just do like sesh last, the last command. I feel like that should be fine. I don't think that's a big deal. Keep it simple on my end with the organization of the project. So let's close all this and then let's just CLI. Instead of connect, we're going to the last command. Let's do it. So this is going to be called last. Can you guys read the font? Because I want to make sure that you're actually able to see it. I think it might be a little silly if I end up using a font you can't even make sense of. I guess we're gonna do this. Oh, that all just went away. Last, connect to the last tmux session. We don't need any flags as of this point. There's no argument. There's no joining of anything. It's literally just a command. There's none of that. There's none of that. We're just going to run last command. All right. So I feel like I need to make sure that tmux, is tmux going to be capable of doing this? This works by us get second to last tmux session, the one I'm not on, and then switch to that session. That's literally all it is. So I'm guessing that the tmux command, I want to just maybe add find last session kind of thing and return the name of the session. So when we do, I probably won't do it here. This is listing is attached. Yeah, so maybe my list tmux. What are we doing here? We're listing tmux. We're finding a session. So lister, instead of find tmux session, we want to say get last tmux session. Sure. Go to implementation. Well, how do I do this? Go to lister, barely even know her. What's up? Chris is here. What's up, Chris? Dude, I don't know if you just got here, but we're making a very cool feature that I think you'll love. We're going to create a last command. So tmux is kind of stupid, and when you start a session and you end up closing that session, right? You can't use the last session command. It's like a broken feature. Like you have to re-switch to another session, and then the feature comes back. And so I'm just going to fix that with a quick little patch of sesh and create this new command and bind command L to sesh last. And that's it. That's all we're going to do. It'll be quick if I do this right. So the list command always returns. I'm sure it's going to be a little funky. What's up, Agus? Agus is here too. It's going to be a little bit funky. There's some edge cases I might not work out today, but I'll give everyone a chance to play around with it. So tmux, we're gonna, what do we say? Get last. Do I get? Why am I not getting autocomplete? Maybe it doesn't want to, maybe the LSP doesn't know what this stuff is. All right. So we're going to list the sessions. I'm not doing find, I'm doing list. So we're going to list sessions, and then this assigns it to the sessions. So I'm going to what? I don't need the key. I just need to get the last, get the second entry on the list. So I guess we have to check Is there more than one session? Yeah. And then get the second entry on the list. Please. Session directory, ordered index, second item. I'm dumb. All right. Second index. Is it literally just one? I guess if we're zero indexing. It's not. Cannot use one. Right. So second equals that, and then we're going to return that. It's like this guy. Oof, sorry. That is the guy we want. And so now the CLI last command will just call that. So to be c dot lister. Oh, that's the connector. All right. So then I want the lister, and I want my dependencies here will be L for lister, and T for tmux. And now I should just be able to go to the root of this, and I should be able to assign last, and I already have these dependencies. So lister and tmux. So that's that. That's that. We need a return. So we need L dot get last tmux session. Last session. Get last session. If last session doesn't have a name, then we return a CLI exit code. I might be able to get away with not saying anything, like silently fail. Silently fail? It'll be quick. Famous last words. Oh no. Did I jinx myself, Andres? This wants a name. No, it doesn't. We will just always call that. And then the actual getter is not going to. I'm always bad at this. I'm here. I want to search. I think I'm going to just change this. All right. We're going back in time, everybody. Neovim config under lazy extras. I just don't understand this tool yet. I'm not fast enough. Leap is the one I want. What do? I hit X. Okay. We're going to remove Flash because I just don't get Flash yet. Is anyone using Flash in Vim? Do they like it? Is it making sense to them? Because I just want Leap's features. Oh, yeah, I know my witch key's broken. All right. So if we go back, we have lister list, tmux lister. Let's go here. Yeah. Lister tmux. There we go. So I wanted to do this. Oh no. Why are these all blank? Very weird. I'm used to using F to jump around. but it somehow craps out. So I'll have to play around with that. What's your favorite jump to? Tree sitter integration. Oh, yeah. So you have to teach me how to use Flash because I suck at Flash. I wish my eyes could just focus on a character. Can I like wink at the camera and it'll like focus my cursor wherever I want? That would be amazing. I've actually thought about buying eye tracking software to try to do something like that. But I digress. This is the feature. So the sesh CLI list, the CLI last command will simply do the thing, and then we'll return what will return nil, and will t.switch to the session that I'm asking for. Please and thank you. Switch client to target session. All right, and then this guy get resolved yet? What's it say? Returns two values, right? So if error nil, I don't know if CLI.exit is what we want here. Is it? Oh, Boolean. I don't think I want to do it that way. Oh, I see. So we're saying we couldn't get a session, so we're going to return false. That's fine. So it's like an exist thing. This is silly. So we're just going to say if not exists, then fail silently. Fall back to tmux last session. No. There's some basics here. The last session is, are there two sessions? If so, get the second one. And we're just going to always do that for now. I'm sure that this will be more, it'll be more nuanced by the time we ship more features with this, but this is like our first run at it. I want to just recreate what we did earlier. And instead of it saying, I can't find the last session, I just wanted to go, okay, here you go. I'll switch to it. That's the code. That's literally all that it's supposed to do. So get last tmux session from the lister. If it doesn't exist, silent fail. Maybe I'll just return silently. Although we don't know yet if it works. So let's keep that there. CLI.exit is just part of the what is this tool called? The yourfav package. It probably throws an exit code and does something clear with the CLI logic. But I'm guessing no errors mean it's fine. Let's see what happens. Let's build. Build. Cannot use realister. Oh, mockery. Cannot use realister. Lister value in return statement. Does not implement lister get last session. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. Why is that there? So lister. I got rid of that. Get last tmux session. Get last team. Oh, look at that. No, we don't want you here. All right, so that's been built. So now into my tmux config, I should just be able to map something new. So rather than doing all this, we are going to bind Command L to last session via sesh. And then we're not going to do a new window. We are going to run a command in the background. Can I just run a command in the background? Or do I have to? I don't have to do it in a new window, do I? A run shell. That was what I wanted. So that's that. And it's going to be bound to capital L. Are we going to replace? We probably shouldn't replace it. What would we bind it to? Because L is an actual thing. This guy? Can I bind to that? It won't matter what I bind it to because I'm going to remap it anyway. Let's just do the capital L and we'll see what happens. Returned 3. Wait, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. If it's less than 2. Interesting. We won't talk about running out of bindings. All right, so instead of binding, we'll just keep this binding L to L. All right, so that doesn't need to happen. Returned 3. Okay, so oh crap. Our sesh CLI last has something that needs to be done here. Alias to L. That always gets me. Those aliases are always tricky. All right. It's funny though, the runtime doesn't care. Oh. Duplicate subcommand or alias L. Oh. No alias. You just got to do it. Or we do capital L. That would be clever. Sesh dev last. No last session found. I beat you to it, Ian. I filled it out before you said it. Okay, so no last session found. Am I sure that it's am I sure that the last session command lister tmux, the ordered index, is it going to be 0 and 1? We can do a little format print. This is what I really want. One day, someone tell me if it's possible. I want to just say, I want to run sesh last as a command via the Go binary, whatever, and then use the debugger to track the flow of the code and do breakpoints and all that. That's what I need to figure out one day. I don't think I have time to do it today, but second, what do we call this? Sessions. Sessions. All right. 1, 2. It's right there. Oh, but interesting. It's actually listing. Oh, we need to look at the ordered index. Okay. Sesh main, second entry, tmux west term, config. That's exactly what I want. So, oh, sesh last won't work because we are not bound to it correctly. Right? Am I just dumb? Interesting. We're close. All right, so that is a little bit misleading, right? All right, so we got the last session. We want to print the second sesh index. It gives me a string, and then from the directory, I want to return. I really could just return the name. P for previous, I see you. It's interesting, I like it. I was trying to recreate last, so far I was feeling like sticking to that. Sesh dev. That's the right key. So why the hell won't it give me my session? Maybe it's not. Maybe the problem isn't here. That's definitely the right session. So CLI last. Something about this is wrong. CLI. Okay. That is the session. That is right. That is the one I want. So where's it failing? Exists needs to be true. Did I get that wrong? Maybe I got that wrong. Ha! Love it. That's straight up wrong. Cool. It works, chat. It works. It freaking works. There's probably going to be some sort of delay, so I need to figure out how much of a delay is a problem. And all the printing needs to stop happening. All right, so that's all done. That we'll get rid of. That we'll get rid of. Ha. And we're still getting prints. Okay, let's rebuild. Cool. Yeah. So if I spam the button, at some point there's a level of it is delayed. Interesting. So am I sorting by last attached? My tmux lister, we sort, we list sessions, right? List, tmux list, sort by last attached. So sort by last attached. Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that, like, if I gain this feature, but then I lose the ability to push the button quickly, it might not be worth it. So we sort by last attached. So is the tmux list sessions feature slow, or is sesh actually slow? I think realistically, I think it's a little bit crazy to think that beyond a few milliseconds, this is what, maybe half a second. If I spam it too much, it's a little bit buggy. But let's do what I was talking about. So let's like go to dot files, and I go, oh, I don't want dot files anymore. I'll close this. Cool. So I'm in wes-term config. Great. Now, if I hit Command L, I go back to sesh main. I found that I can't force tmux yet to reattach to tmux via the last session that I was in. That is a problem. That is something I'll have to deal with. But for today, the pain point, the headache is when I close a session. Oh, that was weird. When we close a session, it won't necessarily take us to where we were previously. So now I have the muscle memory of I can switch this back to the one that I want to be on. Let's do a few. Let's do like neovim config and macmon and aerospace and dot files and home. No, we're not going to go home. What are we going to do? We're going to do, we got some custom configs here. Let's go to fish. All right, so we got all these things that are living now. I should be able to just close, hit back. That's the one I was in previously. Close, hit it again, websterm config, close, hit L again, sesh main. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a predictable pattern. It's not perfect, but it's way better than just, sorry, you're out of luck, the feature doesn't work anymore, which I find so annoying and kind of infuriating sometimes. Boom. So yeah, it's not perfect, but I will start playing around with this and we will see how it goes. So it's very basic feature. We're going to call this like a beta feature. Tmux get last session. So we're going to say feature add get last tmux function. Yeah. So you're onto something, Ian. I agree with you. However, how would you differentiate closing the final window on a tmux session versus how would you, yeah, either you're closing one of these windows, right? I have them just as emojis. You're closing the last window, which forces the session to die because there's no more windows, versus there's a separate key binding that I have to press that achieves that functionality, which I'm with you. I think it's an interesting idea. I think we could definitely write a feature that does that, but at what cost to, you could proxy and you could say if there's two windows, then close the current window. But the way I have it bound, it also kills panes. So I want to not make up new key bindings so that I can offer that type of feature. Part of me really wishes I could look closer at the tmux source code, discover what logic is doing that feature that reconnects to some session. It doesn't, I don't know which one. So that might be another pattern. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Ian. All right, so Ian, for those that aren't watching YouTube, the question now is like, do we just get to the point where I would like have my sesh commands be a proxy and do features slightly differently and more opinionated in ways I like, which is what we did today. Let's be honest. That's all this is, right? Is me doing that feature different. Feature add a last CLI command. All right. So now this exists. Grabs grabs the second session from the sorted by last attached date, right? I'm pretty sure it's last attached. Is it last attached? The tmux list last attached. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like a couple hundred milliseconds, like 400 ms. What else do we need to say? Tmux config. Let's just go there. Tmux conf. So if people want to put this in your tmux conf, note. I need to start using the smart Have you guys seen these markdowns? Look, they style it. I thought they styled it. GitHub custom callouts, markdown syntax. Type. Oh, tip. I see. No? I saw it the other day. What did I see it in? I'll look it up later. Will overwrite. Cool. That's it, right? We can bump up a new version. We can do 2.2. Where are we at? 2.2 probably. So I'll let people play around with this. I'm sure there's more work to be done. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more work to be done, but it works. It does what I want it to do. So when I'm here and I'm coding and I go, okay, I don't want that anymore. I don't want aerospace config. I want sesh main. Boom, sesh main. Literally, I do this every day. I do this all day because I close sessions a lot. So let's make a sesh issue. To improve the function. What do we want to do? We want when closing the last session, the last window of a session, we want to close and connect to the last attached session. tmux currently chooses something apparently random. I don't actually know if it's random. Maybe it's like the last in creation time is my best guess, but I haven't been convinced yet. Contributing to tmux source code and fixing issue. So tmux actually, tmux GitHub. There is a ticket out for it, like last attached. It might be a discussion. What is the actual feature? Let's go back to detach on destroy off. All right, so when we look at detach on destroy, it was talked about. It was definitely talked about. Because I spent some time with it a while back. Kill tmux session 1 on tmux. Yeah. So did someone not do it? Oh, 2022. All right, so someone asked for this. I think the most recent active session is not always desired. Make it more predictable if the client is switched to the previous session. Most recently active of the remaining sessions. Most recently active is different than what I was last attached to because the feature doesn't work the way that I predict it to. And that's what throws me off. I'm like, why is it not the one I last attached to? So That's the pain point here. So the question now is just like, would we do this? I'm going to put in the backlog for now. Ian, is this like, it's very cryptic. Is sesh last mean that we're ending sesh? We could do like attached to lash or switch attached or something like that. Sesh last gives you the last session is the way I think about it. So we're going to see if it throws anybody off. Let's see, read me. Let's do read me. What is happening? I just lost sesh main. All right. Do I need to do anything? Configuration. I guess we're going to, there should be a tmux config file in here, right? Basic usage. Gum and tmux. Where do we hide this? Bonus sesh last, right? So the default prefix command, let's just figure out what does it actually do. Switches the attached client back to the last session. Will switch the attached client. However, if you close a session and leave if you close the session while detach on destroy off is set, the last session will not be found. To fix this, I have a sesh last command that will always switch the client to the second to last session that has been attached. Add the following to your tmux conf to overwrite we're going to stick to this. Why not? This should work fine, right? Yeah. Oh boy. Let's just get stash. And add and config sample. Okay, cool. So then that's it. It's not perfect. Do I need to mockery all? I'm pretty sure I need mockery to update. Oh boy, this is all a bunch of stuff. Did I include it already? Here, lister. Sure, update mock lister. fine. I'll push those, not a big deal. All right. So what is left to do? I guess we need to make sure tests run. Maybe we're not really running something new. I'm not writing tests for this right now. I know, shame on me. But the idea of this feature is very basic, so we're not really adding much to this. So we will see where all this goes. All right. That's it. You guys want the feature? I might just mention that it's a work in progress, but like if people want to start messing with it, I think it's better than the current implementation. At least it serves the problems that I'm having. Okay. So we will squash. Nope, we won't squash. We will rebase. Cool. And we will delete the branch and we will make a new release. Who wants it? Who wants a new one? All right. So sesh last command. Yeah. So we're going to go v22. We're going to put it on. The target is that commit. Previous tag auto generate release notes. Should I like copy what I put in the README? That's typically what I do, README. All right. What's up, Tommy? Tommy's got something to say. Yeah. So all I can recommend is if you use a good session manager, for me, it's the default. I can give a tip while we're here. And I'm going to release this. Note, some sort of like note. And is prone to have some slight changes in behavior. I'll be sure to post those changes here. Yes. Cool. So there you go, new feature. How about that? And we still got a little time, so that's good. So my advice is, let's say that you're on a fresh start. This is a blank screen. What do you want to do, right? I want to edit something. I want to change a file. I want to, you can give me an example if you want, but it's like, I want to go do something. The way sesh works is you want to go to the project first. So I would hit S, and S will start my picker. And I may say, I want to change my tmux file. So I type tmux. And the way that it works for me is this one in particular is a custom config. And so whenever I choose tmux config, it will just open the tmux config file. If I want to go to sesh main, so I use Git work trees on some of my projects. So main is a subtree, is a work tree for the sesh project. And when I hit enter, by default, it will always open the file picker. And the file picker will always be sorted by the files that I most recently edited. So these are the files that I touched last. And so, README. Yeah, I want to go to README. That's what I just was messing with earlier. And so, boom, then I'm set. What's great is from here, I use Command K, which is like the action bar in macOS. There's lots of apps that use Command K. Now I can switch between any of my active sessions or my configurations or any project. So if I want to go to like my website, I can just go to my website, right? Just like that. And so it's super helpful to have like that mentality of like, let me pick the project first. And so what I do is I don't really use CD very much anymore, which is nice. Most people will CD to something and then invim something and then try to do a file picker and then type the thing they want and then hit enter. And by that point, I'm on my second or third session with the same amount of time. So hopefully that's helpful to you. You use Nix. Yeah, I know some people that use Nix for tmux and sesh and all of that. Yeah, you have to announce that you use Nix if you're a Nix user, right? Yeah, so hopefully what I described is helpful. If you're creating a new project, there is this like, let's just like say you're making a new project, like in the C directory. This is where my code lives. So like new project, you can do like sesh connect dot, and it will create the session based off of that folder, which is pretty cool. You can also do something similar where you say sesh connect new project, and it will figure out what that is and also create a new project. So sesh is smart, and there are some really good commands that help you get to what you need quickly. So yeah, look at that. I'm already using Command L. Ian, this is working. This is working. I like it. But I'm going to guess, if I had a little time, what is actually going to happen if I go to git clone tmux. That's not crazy. It's all written in C. And then there's some sort of detach on destroy. So it's assigned to some sort of option. Is this then assigned as like, I always wonder, like, it's assigned somehow as a configuration, and then, I'm just not a C guy, so I don't really know where to even go to look for this feature. So maybe someone can help me. Oh, Tommy, nice. Yeah, man. You'll find that over time you'll get much faster as you get rid of using the file tree and just fuzzy to whatever you want. What I love about Sesh is I can fuzzy to any project at any time instantly. And that's sort of the selling point. That's how I have presented it to people. Most people that use it really love it for the same reason. And then a good file picker in NeoVim, of course. This is Telescope, is really helpful. All right. Does anyone know if detach on destroy? Server finds sessions. Newer detached session. Oh, there's actually 4 options. What is this? Who did this? All right, Nick. Add a no detached choice, which detaches only if there are no other detached sessions to switch from. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So let's see if we can read this. Is there like a library for C? Mason in Vim LSP for C library. What do people like to use? CLang D? Oh, that's not what I want. Mason CLang D. Okay, let's install it. Install. Okay. Okay, we got some stuff going on. I'll take it. So we find the session. I'm going to guess there's probably not too much method to this madness. But what is the second argument supposed to be for? It server new or detached session. Anyone good at C? Anyone know what we're looking at? So I'm trying to understand detach on destroy. Basically, if 0, it doesn't do it. If 2, new or detached session. So it goes by newness. If there's 3 of them, it looks at the previous one. And if there's 4 of them, it goes to the next one. Why is it doing this? Why can't I just go back to the last session? Why is there all this crazy madness of like based on how many? No, it's not going to be as many. Is it just on and off? Well, so this options get number is going to from let me try explaining this. It's like detach on destroy. Maybe it's like the specific behaviors of these functions will depend on their implementation. But based on their names, it seems that they all relate to finding a new session to switch to when the current one is destroyed. Yes. So session, previous session. I guess we can find out what that means. So there are 4 sessions. And if I close this, it actually chose to go to tmux config, which was the first session that got made. So, oh, let's try that again. Oh, why is it closing? What is happening? Take me to your leader. All right. So what that means is there were 3 remaining sessions. And so it went for the previous session, but previous session isn't what I think it is. I also don't know what this session variable is. It's a strut. And this isn't actually defined here. Finds the previous usable session. So again, it's all a bunch of like C. These variables aren't really clear. There's not a whole lot that tells me how this works. If the session's not alive, then it does that. Okay, fine. It's like this concept of previous is not assigned to last attached. It's probably assigned to last activity because tmux does share last activity. But it argues what is last activity? What does that mean? And then just go back. Go back. All right. We are going to go back to this, go back to this, close command. Also see this. Yeah. We could. So the last session command is going to be bound to the key binding somehow. I don't actually know what they're going to call it. So last session, last attached session, last attached. Callback for session attached, last attached. So they have one. Session last attached. Okay. Get time of day and then look at last attached time. Okay, cool. What is this one for? This is the client set session. Interesting. More to explore. I'll probably create a discussion or an issue or something and just ask, hey, when I close this, can we make this behavior better and more predictable? So that's what I'll do. This is super fun. We got a feature working. How about that? We have a let's do the excitement. So it's totally working. I'm glad that it's working. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to have some dinner and take a break for the evening. But it was fun to ship a little feature with all of you today. Ian, Andres, Tommy, thanks for coming in. I think Typecraft was here for a few minutes. That's always fun when he shows up. And Agus. So thanks again for coming in. I'll see you guys next week.